Samantha leaned back in her office chair, staring at her laptop screen with a strange mix of pride and confusion. The words glowed brightly on LinkedIn. So grateful my boyfriend connected me with his mentor. Just accepted an amazing job offer. Her boyfriend's name Michael was tagged right there. And below that her own name shining in bold letters, with hundreds of likes and congratulatory comments. She should have been happy for her, but instead her stomach twisted. Moments later her phone buzzed. She tried to message her but the text wouldn't send. Then she checked again, blocked. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp all gone. Wait, what? She whispered. She blocked me. Samantha had met Nicole 8 months earlier at a networking event in Portland. Nicole was charming, ambitious, and magnetic. The kind of woman who seemed to make every room brighter. She worked in marketing while Samantha worked in tech consulting. They clicked instantly, bonding over long coffee chats, late-night texts, and shared dreams of career growth. Nicole had often said, "You're the kind of woman who inspires me. You've got it all together." Samantha laughed every time, unaware that those words hid an agenda. For the first few months, it felt like friendship built on mutual respect. Until one evening over dinner Nicole leaned forward and asked, "Hey, you work with those big tech clients, right? Do you think you could introduce me to someone who could help me move into the corporate side of marketing?" Samantha didn't think twice. "Of course," she said warmly. "Networking's all about helping each other." Nicole smiled wide. "You're the best, Sam. I promise I'll make you proud." Over the next few weeks, Samantha introduced her to colleagues and former mentors, people she'd worked years to build trust with. "She's talented," Samantha would tell them. "Driven, creative, a great communicator." Nicole would follow up with coffee meetings, thank you notes, and endless charm. It all seemed harmless, until she mentioned the name Gregory Hales, Samantha's longtime mentor. Gregory wasn't just anyone, he was a senior vice president at a global tech firm, the kind of person whose recommendation could change a career. "You think Gregory would meet with me?" Nicole asked one night, eyes bright with excitement. Samantha hesitated. "He's selective about who he helps," she admitted. Nicole tilted her head, lowering her voice. "I totally get that. But I'd love to learn from him. I saw there's an opening at his company for senior marketing manager. It's literally my dream job." Samantha chewed her lip, thoughtful. Gregory had been her mentor for nearly 5 years. He'd guided her through career transitions, personal struggles, even burnout. He wasn't just a mentor, he was family. But Samantha's heart leaned toward helping. "I'll ask him," she said finally. Nicole's grin stretched wide. "You have no idea what this means to me." That weekend Samantha brought it up with Gregory over coffee. "She's sharp," she said. "And honestly she reminds me a bit of myself." Gregory smiled. "Send me her LinkedIn. I'll see what I can do." 2 weeks later Nicole texted, "He's amazing. Thank you so much. First interview scheduled for next week." Samantha was thrilled. She helped Nicole prepare for every round. Mock questions, presentation tips, even wardrobe advice. "You've got this," she'd say. "Just be yourself." Nicole would squeeze her hand saying, "You're my lucky charm, Sam." By the 4th interview, Samantha was emotionally invested in Nicole's success. When the offer came, Samantha even planned a dinner to celebrate. But before she could call, she saw that LinkedIn post, the public thank you paired with a silent goodbye. Every text, every number, every social account, gone. The realization hit her like a brick. Nicole had used her connections, her kindness, and her trust, and then erased her from her life the moment she got what she wanted. That night, Samantha sat on her couch staring at her phone screen, the glow from LinkedIn still reflecting in her tired eyes. "There's no way this is real," she whispered to herself. She scrolled back through their old chats, the late-night pep talks, the good luck texts before interviews, the "you're my inspiration" messages. Everything now felt scripted. The longer she stared, the clearer it became. Nicole had been planning this for months. The thought made Samantha's chest tighten. She poured herself a glass of wine and sat by the window, watching the rain blur the city lights. Her phone buzzed with a notification, an email from Gregory. The subject line read, "Quick chat tomorrow?" Her stomach turned. Gregory rarely sent short emails. When he did, it usually meant something serious. Samantha replied, "Of course. Morning works." Then she sat in silence, replaying everything in her mind. Could Gregory have seen something? Did Nicole already say something to him? The anxiety gnawed at her until she remembered something, an old screenshot. Months ago, when Nicole left her laptop open at Samantha's apartment, she'd glimpsed a chat between Nicole and her friend, Becca. At the time, she dismissed it as harmless gossip. But now it felt like a missing puzzle piece. Samantha unlocked her phone, scrolled through her gallery and found the screenshot. Nicole's words flashed across the screen. "If I get the job, I'm so done with her. She's too serious and not that useful anymore." Samantha's hand trembled as she reread the message. She had laughed it off back then, convincing herself Nicole was joking. But now it felt like a confession written in neon ink. Anger and disbelief tangled inside her chest. "After everything I did," she muttered, setting the phone down. She barely slept that night. When morning came, she met Gregory at their usual cafe. He smiled warmly, but his eyes carried concern. "Samantha, I think we need to talk about Nicole." Her heart sank. "I had a feeling," she said softly. He sighed. "She's not who she presented herself to be." He paused, watching her reaction. "You don't have to explain," Samantha said, her voice calm but cold. "I already know." Gregory leaned back, arms folded. "She posted that announcement yesterday and tagged me. I was happy for her at first, until Derek, my CEO, forwarded me something you should see." He showed Samantha his phone. It was a copy of the same message Samantha had screenshot, only forwarded from another employee who'd seen it floating around. "She told her friend she was using you to get to me. I didn't want to believe it until Derek confirmed she'd been bragging about her connections at the office." Samantha exhaled sharply, staring at the coffee in her cup. "So it's true," she said. "All of it." Gregory nodded slowly. "I'm sorry, Sam. You didn't deserve that." She looked up, meeting his eyes. "What happens now?" Gregory hesitated. "Derek's calling her in today. Sure will be there. He wants to handle it professionally, but he's not happy." Samantha blinked. "You told him?" "I had to," Gregory said gently. "She used my name for a recommendation. That's not something we can ignore." Samantha felt her pulse quicken. "I never wanted this to blow up," she murmured. "I just wanted to understand why she'd block me." Gregory gave a faint smile. "You did nothing wrong. You helped someone who took advantage of your trust. That's not on you." Samantha nodded, her throat tight. "It just hurts. I believed in her." "That's what makes you a good person," Gregory said quietly. "Don't let someone like her make you doubt that." That afternoon, Samantha went home early. She sat at her kitchen table, her laptop open but untouched. Every few minutes she refreshed her inbox, half dreading, half expecting something. Around 5:30 it came. A message from an unknown number. "What the hell did you do?" Her chest went cold. Another message followed. "You're pathetic. You think this makes you look strong? You just ruined my life because your ego couldn't handle my success." Samantha stared at the screen, stunned. "Nicole," she whispered. The texts kept coming, one after another. "They're making me sign some stupid agreement or they'll pull my offer. You're insane." Samantha put the phone down and took a deep breath. She typed one reply, "Please stop contacting me." Then she blocked the number. An hour later, a new message appeared, this time from another unknown number. "This is Becca. You need to fix this. You're ruining Nicole's career over some dumb joke messages." Samantha felt her jaw tighten. She typed back, "Becca, those messages weren't jokes. She admitted to using me. I shared the truth with my mentor because his name was involved. That's not ruining her career. That's accountability." Becca responded almost instantly. "You're overreacting. Everyone talks like that about their friends sometimes. You just can't take a joke." Samantha stared at the message for a long moment, then replied calmly, "A joke doesn't involve blocking someone on every platform right after getting what you wanted." She hit send, blocked. By the next morning, an email arrived from Nicole's mother. The subject line, "I'm disappointed in you." Samantha groaned, rubbing her temples before opening it. The email accused her of being vindictive, jealous, and unprofessional. "Nicole said you tried to destroy her reputation because you couldn't stand to see her succeed," the message read. Samantha's eyes burned with frustration. She typed her reply carefully, "Mrs. Carter, your daughter used our friendship to access my mentor and then blocked me after securing her job. I shared screenshots proving her intentions only to protect his reputation. Whatever consequences she's facing now are her own. She pressed send and shut her laptop. Enough, she said aloud, her voice steady. I'm done explaining myself. For 2 days silence. Then on Wednesday morning Gregory called. She's been officially warned, he said. Derek in HR confronted her. She tried to deny everything at first, said the messages were fake. But when Derek mentioned the screenshots came from you, she froze. Samantha's heart pounded. What did they do? They gave her 2 options, Gregory said. Sign a behavioral agreement with a 3-month probation or decline the job offer. And? Samantha asked. She signed. Angry, but she signed. Samantha exhaled, half relief, half sorrow. I didn't want her to lose everything, she said quietly. You didn't make her lose anything, Gregory replied. You just held up a mirror. That evening, Samantha sat on her balcony with a cup of tea, the sunset painting the sky in shades of gold and orange. Her phone buzzed with a message from Gregory again. Coffee next week? My treat. She smiled faintly. It was his way of checking in. She typed back, would love to. Setting her phone aside, she took a deep breath. The ache in her chest hadn't completely faded, but there was peace in knowing she had done the right thing. She wasn't the villain, no matter what Nicole's circle thought. She was simply someone who learned the hard way that not everyone you help wants to grow with you. Some just want to climb over you. The following week, Samantha met Gregory again at their usual cafe. The aroma of roasted coffee beans filled the air as she slid into the seat across from him. You holding up okay? He asked gently. She gave a small smile. Better, I think. Just trying to make sense of everything. Gregory stirred his coffee thoughtfully. You did what most people wouldn't. You told the truth even when it made things uncomfortable. Samantha sighed. I just can't stop wondering if I overreacted. He shook his head. No. You protected integrity. That's rare these days. She appreciated his reassurance, but a small part of her still felt heavy. I hate that she's probably out there telling everyone I ruined her life. Gregory smiled faintly. Let her talk. The truth doesn't need defense, it just needs time. The next morning, Samantha's phone lit up with notifications. Nicole had posted again on LinkedIn. The caption read, starting a new role comes with challenges, but I'm focused on growth. Sometimes people from your past can't handle your success. I'm choosing to rise above. The post had over 300 likes. Samantha stared at the screen, her mouth tightening into a thin line. Of course, she muttered. The comments were divided, some cheering Nicole on, others asking vague questions. One caught Samantha's attention. Gregory's executive assistant had commented, wishing you success in your new role, Nicole. Integrity is the foundation of every great career. The polite but pointed message made Samantha chuckle quietly. She didn't respond. She just closed the app, deciding that peace mattered more than proving anything. Still, the whispers didn't stop. A few mutual acquaintances messaged Samantha privately. Hey, we heard things got messy with Nicole. You okay? One texted. Another said, we're not taking sides, but wow, that's rough. She read every message with a tired smile. Translation, she told her friend Jasmine one night over dinner. They believe me but don't want to get involved. Jasmine nodded. People hate confrontation. But everyone who matters knows the truth. Samantha pushed her plate away. I know. I just wish I'd seen the signs earlier. Jasmine leaned forward. Don't blame yourself. Some people are experts at pretending. You saw her potential, she saw your usefulness. That's not on you. Samantha blinked back the sting of tears. I guess I wanted a real friendship so badly I ignored the red flags. Weeks passed. Samantha threw herself into work, attending client meetings, mentoring junior consultants, and rebuilding her confidence. Slowly the ache faded. Then one afternoon she got a text from Gregory. Funny story, Nicole tried to add me on LinkedIn again. Samantha laughed aloud. You're kidding. Wish I was, he replied. Said she wanted to grab coffee to discuss marketing strategies. Derek saw it. Declined the invite. Samantha shook her head. Some people never learn. Gregory texted back. She's walking on thin ice. But that's her journey now, not yours. Samantha smiled faintly. For the first time in weeks she felt completely detached from the drama. Nicole's actions no longer hurt. They just revealed who she truly was. One evening, as Samantha scrolled through her emails, she found one from Derek, the CEO himself. The subject line read, "Appreciation." Curious, she opened it. "Samantha, it began," Gregory shared the full story with me. "I wanted to commend you for your professionalism. It's never easy to navigate personal betrayal with grace. We often say integrity is tested most when no one's watching. You passed that test. I hope we cross paths professionally someday." Samantha sat back, a lump forming in her throat. For months, she'd felt like she was defending herself against gossip. Now validation came quietly, from the very top. She whispered to herself, maybe doing the right thing really does matter. By the end of the month, Nicole was still at the company, but Gregory mentioned she was isolated. "She gets polite hellos but no real friendships," he told Samantha during another coffee chat. "People know what happened even if no one talks about it openly." Samantha nodded slowly. She built her career on manipulation and now she's paying the price. Gregory shrugged. Life has a way of balancing things out. Samantha stirred her tea, watching the steam rise. "I just hope she learns something from it." Gregory smiled softly. "Maybe she will. Or maybe she won't. Either way, you've learned something and that's what matters." That night, Samantha reflected on everything. 8 months of friendship. Countless conversations. Trust she'd freely given. All for someone who saw her as a stepping stone. She opened her journal and wrote, "If your kindness feels like a ladder to someone, they'll climb it and never look back. But climb anyway, just don't let them use your back." The words felt healing. She closed the book and whispered, "Lesson learned." The next day she woke up lighter. She went for a walk along the river, letting the autumn breeze tangle her hair. For the first time she didn't think about Nicole at all. Then out of nowhere she ran into Becca at a coffee shop downtown. Becca froze when their eyes met. Samantha gave a polite nod. "Becca." Becca's face hardened. "You're still proud of yourself, huh?" She was just trying to build her career. Samantha kept her voice calm. "And I was trying to help her. She made her choice." Becca scoffed. "You ruined her reputation." "No," Samantha said evenly. "She ruined her own. I just stopped covering for her." For a long second Becca had no reply. She grabbed her latte, muttered something under her breath and walked out. Samantha stood still for a moment, heart racing, then smiled quietly. The encounter hadn't shaken her. It had confirmed her peace. Back at home, Samantha called Jasmine. "You'll never guess who I saw today." Jasmine laughed when she heard the story. "And how did you handle it?" "Calmly," Samantha said. "Didn't even raise my voice." "That's growth," Jasmine teased. "The old you would have given a full TED talk on betrayal." Samantha laughed. "You're not wrong." He paused, thoughtful. "You know, I used to think revenge was closure. But turns out silence is louder." Jasmine nodded approvingly. "Exactly. People who use others eventually reveal themselves. You don't have to lift a finger." Samantha leaned back on her couch, feeling a calm satisfaction. "For once," she said, "I'm okay being the villain in someone else's story if it means I finally get to be the hero in my own." Months later, Gregory mentioned in passing that Nicole had quietly left the company. No farewell post, no announcement, just gone. "Apparently she couldn't handle the pressure," he said. "Or maybe the lack of admiration," Samantha murmured. Gregory smiled knowingly. Either way, she wrote her own ending. That night, Samantha sat by her window, city lights flickering below. She thought about everything that had happened. The betrayal, the humiliation, the eventual peace. "Sometimes," she whispered, "losing someone who lied to you is better than keeping someone who pretended to care." She smiled faintly, closed her journal and finally truly let it all go. Winter arrived in soft layers of gray sky and quiet mornings. Samantha found comfort in routine again. Coffee before sunrise, music in the car, laughter with real friends who never asked for favors disguised as friendship. Her company promoted her to a senior consulting role, something she'd been working toward for years. When Gregory congratulated her, she smiled. "Funny, isn't it? The same connection someone tried to use against me helped me grow instead." Gregory chuckled. "That's the irony of integrity, it can't be borrowed. It has to be built." Samantha nodded, feeling proud not just of her career but of the calm she'd found after the chaos. She no longer needed validation from people who only loved her usefulness. One afternoon, while clearing her inbox, Samantha stumbled upon an old folder of messages. Conversations with Nicole from the beginning. Photos of lunches, notes of encouragement, shared dreams of making it big together. For a moment, nostalgia tugged at her heart. She didn't hate Nicole anymore, she pitied her. You could have had real friendship, Samantha whispered, but you chose shortcuts. She deleted the folder without hesitation. Closure didn't need revenge, it needed release. Later that night she texted Jasmine, "Dinner tomorrow?" Her friend replied instantly, "Always." The world felt right again, not perfect but peaceful. Weeks later, Samantha received a message from a former coworker of Nicole's. "Hey, I know it's random, but I just wanted to say thank you for how you handled that whole thing. Word got around and a lot of us learned something from it." Samantha smiled softly. She didn't need applause, but hearing that truth had quietly made a difference warmed her. Sometimes, she told herself, doing the right thing doesn't make you popular, it makes you respected. That night she wrote those words on a sticky note and placed it on her mirror as a daily reminder. By spring, Samantha had begun mentoring young women at her firm, teaching them not just career strategy but emotional boundaries. Help people, she'd tell them, but don't let help turn into self-harm. They admired her honesty and calm wisdom. One mentee asked, "Have you ever been betrayed by someone you trusted?" Samantha smiled faintly. "Yes," she said. "But I learned that betrayal doesn't define you, it reveals them." The girl nodded, her eyes wide. "Did you forgive her?" Samantha thought for a moment. "In my own way, yes. Forgiveness isn't about letting them off the hook. It's about letting yourself move forward without the weight." As months passed, the sting of what happened faded into memory. Samantha started traveling again. New York, Denver, Seattle, speaking at conferences about leadership and ethics in business. Her story, once painful, had turned into a lesson that inspired others. After one event, a young professional approached her and said, "Your talk reminded me not to confuse ambition with integrity." Samantha smiled. "That's the goal," she said warmly. On the flight home, she looked out the window as clouds drifted beneath her, feeling proud of how far she'd come, not because she was unscarred but because she healed without bitterness. One evening, nearly a year after everything unfolded, Samantha walked past a cafe and spotted a familiar face, Nicole, sitting alone by the window. Her hair was shorter, her expression tired. For a moment their eyes met. Nicole looked away quickly, pretending to check her phone. Samantha paused, then offered a polite nod before walking on. No anger, no words, no lingering pain. Just quiet closure. As she turned the corner, the cool evening breeze carried a sense of freedom. She realized forgiveness didn't always need conversation. It sometimes looked like peace in your own footsteps. That night, Samantha wrote her final journal entry about the ordeal. "I used to think being kind made me naive. Now I know it just means I care deeply. What matters is not letting betrayal harden your heart but letting it sharpen your awareness." She closed the journal and smiled. Her phone buzzed, a message from Gregory, "Proud of you. Keep shining." She replied simply, "Thank you, for teaching me what integrity looks like." Then she set her phone aside, poured herself a cup of tea and watched the city lights flicker against the night. She wasn't just healed, she was wiser, stronger, and finally free. Moral lesson. True integrity never needs to chase recognition, it reveals itself through calm action and quiet truth. Helping others is noble, but wisdom means knowing when kindness becomes self-sacrifice. Betrayal doesn't define who you are, it exposes who they were. Thanks you for watching, and please remember to tell us where you are watching from today. Hit the like button, comment and subscribe to this channel for more of this.